Hello, this is a quick guide for the no threat challenge. So if you want to take it for the entire week from yesterday till Saturday, you want to watch this video from the beginning till the end. I will start by why you shouldn't threaten your child, and I'll give you just two reasons. The first one is, I remember one time my niece was living with me and we're going out, we're driving out, and she said to my son, if you do ABC again, I'll throw you out of the window. Yes. She was just threatening him, trying to make him stop doing what he was doing. Now, many parents actually do this. I'll break your head. I'll do this. I'll do that. You make threats that you cannot. You have no intentions of seeing through. You don't have the capacity to see them through. What do you think happens? Your child will not take you seriously. They will learn not to take you seriously. No wonder they'll repeat that thing over and over and over and over and over again. Why? Because you make threats that are empty. So the first thing you want to do is, if you want to get your child to behave properly, you want to drop the threat. That is the first reason why we are actually having this challenge. You want to get cooperative children, you want to drop the threats. Now, the second reason we are having this challenge is the major reason. And I'll share something that happened quickly in my house this morning. But before then, you see the times we are is a lot of things are happening, flying in the air, and our children are caught in the middle. Our children are being targeted. One of the things we can do for them is to raise them to be able to reason on their own. I saw a video recently where a girl was having a conversation back and forth with the teacher about gender, and she was trying to discourage, was trying to convince her that, oh, people can take any gender they want, it's not a girl and a boy. And the girl was asking the teacher, so do you mean somebody wants to be a cow is okay? That girl was, she gets sense. Yes. Let me use that word. You know, she has been raised so much to be able to reason for herself. So we want to help our children reason. What we can do, how we can do it, is to help them build their upstairs brain, their reasoning brains, because as small as they are, that reasoning brain is not developed yet. So what we can do as parents is to help them exercise it. And one of the ways we can do that is not to threaten them. When you threaten your child, you are not helping them build that reasoning capacity. You're not helping them build the upstairs brain. So I said I was going to share what happened in my house this morning. So they were bathing in their bathroom and they were arguing there. So they were taking a bit more time. I needed to bathe, so I told them that I knew that we're running out of time. So I told them that, you see, we are bathing, you are taking a long time to bathe. So what will happen is, once I'm done bathing, dressed up, and you are out, we are going to church. So if you are not done bathing and eating by the time I'm done, it means you are going to go to church on an empty stomach. And of course, they got ready on time and ate before I even came out. The thing is, I'm making them see that they needed to hurry up so that they will not miss their breakfast. That is what threats can do. However, what I actually want to build in my children is a desire to go to church early. To go to church early on their own without any external motivation. Yet, because I just hurriedly came out, I threatened, you are missing your breakfast. That was the threat I issued. You will miss your breakfast. I will not wait for you to have your breakfast. So that is what happens when you threaten your child. You do not give them an opportunity to reason. But when you don't threaten, which is what we are going to do, instead of threatening our children in this position, in this challenge rather, instead of threatening them, we are going to help them develop their reasoning skills. And how do we do that? Why do I want them not to be late for church? Is a reason. Now, instead of me to threaten them with, you will miss your breakfast, I will tell them why they shouldn't be late for school, late for church. And I will tell them in such a manner that it will benefit them, how it will benefit them. So I'm helping them lay the foundation that, okay, going to church early, this is why you should go to church early, this is how it benefits me. So when you have a situation, instead of you to threatening your child, you actually want to pause. You want to breathe. You want to calm down. You want to be able to engage them in a conversation. That is how you build their reasoning skills. You are asking them about things. They are thinking. They are building their reasoning skills like that. Okay, let me share this with you. A parent said the child was playing football in the living room, and she said, if you don't stop playing football in the living room, I'm going to deflate your football. And the child stopped. Okay, the parent issued a threat, and the child actually stopped. Now, What happens when we threaten children is that there are two goals in parenting. There's the short-term goal and the long-term goal. The long-term goal should be the goal for every parent. The short-term goal is just that corrects the behavior immediately. The long-term goal is the one that builds skills that the child takes into adulthood. Let me go back to this parent. The child was playing football in the living room and the parent said, if you don't stop playing the football, I'm going to deflate your football. I'm going to deflate it and trash it or something. The child actually stops. The behavior has been corrected. What happens when the parent is not there to threaten with deflating the football? It means the child has not learnt why he shouldn't play football in the living room. Because you just issued a threat. Like I said, the threat met the short-term goal. What about the long-term goal when the child is not, when you are not there to actually threaten the child? In this case, the parent, like when I told the parent, is not about threatening the child to deflate the football. What would you do? You will engage the child. In that engaging the child, you are helping the child build his or her reasoning skills. In this case, you're helping him build his reasoning skills. What would you do? The child is playing football in the living room. You call the child, you are playing football in the living room. Why are you playing football in the living room? What do you think can happen if you play football in the living room? For example, you can hit the TV and the TV breaks. When the TV breaks, what do you think happens? You will not have TV to watch again. Do you like that? No. Or other items in the living room can even spoil. Would you like that? No. Okay. Let's say because mommy so much wants to listen to her news or wants to watch her Z World, she goes ahead to buy another TV. Do you know what happens? Or daddy rather. Do you know what happens? Daddy goes to buy another TV with some money, right? This money that is using to buy another TV is the money that is set aside for something else that it takes from that money. So which simply means that if daddy takes from your school fees to buy football, your school may have to drive you away because there will be no money there will be no immediate money to pay your school fees. It simply means if you say your shoe is spoiled now, we may not be able to replace it immediately because you have used that money to replace the TV. So do you see that? So what does that tell you? It tells you that don't play football in the living room because it can spoil objects. But you want to play football, fine. It simply means that you are going outside or go to the football corner to play football. It can be your free time that you are playing football, which is right for you to play, but you are doing it at the wrong place. You know, so you learn to play football, doing the right thing at the right place, which is the corner meant for football. So you play football outside or your football sport, it simply means you are doing the right thing at the right time. So when you are asked not to do something, it is for a reason. It is not just a random talk. There is a reason why things are done. There's a standard to things. There's a place for everything. As you are having this conversation with the child is understanding. So tomorrow, whether it's football or not, the child will actually learn to pause and say, okay, I'm playing football. Should I play football even in my room? It can distress something or something. It may not be immediate. By the time you say it once, you say it twice, the third time the child is understanding. You are helping him build his reasoning skills. But when you just threaten, if you play that football in the living room, I'm going to deflate that football. What do you think happens? Your child is afraid that you're going to deflate the football, that the child holds the football back, which is correction of that behavior immediately. He's not playing the football. But what happens when you're not at home? I've heard parents say, oh, their children break their television. What do you think happens? That is what happens. So when you are not at home, because your child does not understand the actual reason he or she shouldn't play football in the living room, when you are not at home, the child goes ahead to play the football. So no threat challenge. It is a no threat challenge. I just thought to explain some of the reasons why you shouldn't threaten your child. So now, how can you make the most of the challenge? How can you carry out this challenge effectively? So for everything you are struggling with, I always tell parents there are two major things you should do. One, you get an accountability partner. Two, you actually want to leave the environment. In this no year challenge, who can be an accountability partner? Your spouse. You can let your spouse know, okay, I belong to this community, parenting and purposeful parenting community, and we are having our accountability our goal for this week is not to threaten our children. So I actually want to take it seriously. Please, if I'm issuing any threat, call me back. Now, this is what I want to do. Instead of threatening my child, I want to communicate. I want to help them develop their upstairs brain. I want us to have a conversation, no matter what the situation is or no matter what the issue is. So you tell your partner. If your spouse is not readily available, you can tell any adult near you. If the adults are not available, you can even talk to your child. Okay, this is what we are having this week. No threats. I don't want to threaten you. So the next thing you want to do is to leave the environment. How do you leave the environment? No, it's not like leaving your house. Now, because you always threaten your child, and your child will always do something that actually will want to make you threaten, you actually want to leave that threat and get an alternative. You get an alternative. So what you want to do is to call your child and say, okay, this week I'm not going to threaten you. However, for every time you do something, there is a consequence. So I'm not going to threaten you. I'm just going to communicate, and we're going to have a talk that, okay, no, this is what you are doing. I think is this, you should do this, you should do that. We're going to have a conversation, talk about them. But if after our conversation you still go ahead to do that same thing, then there's a consequence for it. And then you make sure you issue the consequence. The consequence now is not a threat, it's a consequence. There's a consequence for what you are doing. Remember, if you play the football in the living room, I've told you, we've talked about it. The reason you don't play the football in the living room is because of XYZ. But if you still go ahead to play football in the living room, what will happen is I'm going to put the football away for the remaining part of the week. Is that clear? And one of the things you want to do is to be sincere. Because children, most time, they don't have the skills to actually do these things, meet our expectations. So what you want to do is to use skills like redirection for them. You teach them self-discipline, teach them to hold back. Okay, you have the urge to do something, you need to hold back and not do it. And then you need to do something else to let out that energy. Like a parent in the group said, our children were playing loudly, and so she had them ask them to face the wall. What you can do is, children, that is what they do, play. That is how they are wired to play. They don't have any work they are doing other than playing. So what you want to do, you come back from work, you are tired, you can call them and say, okay, right now I am really tired. I want to take a nap. You know, I've been out all day. I really want to take a nap. I do not want to break down. If I don't take a nap now and it keep piling up, exhaustion may set in. I may break down. I land in the hospital. Nobody will be at home to cook for you again. And you will not see mommy again for a while and all of that. Do we want that? No. So you need to give mommy a bit of time to have a nap. Now, because I know that you are children, you can be impulsive. So what I want you to do is, I want you to take your craft materials, your building materials, and I want you to go to separate rooms. It's just for 30 minutes. You go to your room, you come and go to your room, you come and lie beside me on the bed. Let's just stay quietly for a while. After like 30 minutes, when the alarm clock rings, everybody will go back together to play. Or you can pick your book and read. Pick your book and read. Just look for something else. You know, if you want to knitting pin, knit or do something. If you want to paint, just paint. Anything you want to do, but just keep the noise down so that I can actually relax, because you wouldn't like it if mommy becomes sick because of exhaustion. So you redirect them by because you can't leave them idle. It's not realistic. They are still going to look for a way to let out the energy as long as they are together. So you actually want to like separate them and give them something to be doing. So again, I said you should get an accountability partner, and then you should leave the environment. Yeah, sometimes you go like I started the challenge yesterday, and this morning I was already telling my children that you're going to miss your breakfast if you don't hurry up. That was a threat, really. So however, what matters is that when you realize that okay, you are now you are going back on your words, you are falling short of the challenge, you quickly go back and try to make up. And one last thing I want to share with you that is very effective is when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, no threat challenge. I'm not threatening my child today. I'm not threatening today. I'm not threatening today. It's like a mantra. It comes handy. So whenever you are faced with a situation, just say no threat, no threat, no threat. It will help you. Okay, so today, this morning, I've threatened. I've even talked. Like I wasn't even supposed to talk. I've talked this morning. I've nagged this morning. I've threatened this morning. So I'm starting all over again. It's a no threat week for me. It's a no, personally, it's a no threat week for me. It's a no nagging week for me. It's just subtle communication. Impact. If you're in Park, you know level 2 is a level 2 voice for me, and it's a no threat week for me. So I hope this explanation helps you a great deal. Bye. See you in class when you come to talk about how you went, how you did not go, and bye bye.